U.S. debt clock. You guys familiar with this? If you're not, I recommend that you take some copious notes. Go to usdebtclock.org if you're able to right now. I know the internet is a little sketchy down here, but if you go to usdebtclock.org, you will see that the national debt is at $21 trillion. It's the national debt, right? So there's 320 million Americans in America right now. If you divide the 320 million Americans in America by the actual national debt, which is $21 trillion, that means everybody in America owes $65,000 to the Fed. Doesn't include child support, doesn't include your mortgage, doesn't include student loans, it doesn't include none of that. You all owe $65,000 to the Fed, and only a third of Americans are actually paying taxes, so that means you owe $175,000 to the Fed. There's no institution in America that's teaching Americans and or immigrants that come into this country how to absolve that debt. That's an issue. It's not about what the current administration is talking about on the squawk box. It's about that issue right there. This right here, if you haven't seen this, is the historical chart of American finance over the last 100 years. When finance started, S&P 500, Standard & Poor's, when it started about 250, right? It went on, this right here in 1930, as you know, is the Great Depression. It dropped. Then it continued in an upward trend. So we kind of rode the wave until in the 70s in the Carter administration, there was an oil crisis. I know some of y'all might remember your parents had to go if you had a positive tag or odd and even tag, this depending on when you got gas, especially if you were in New York. And so it dropped here in this 80s right here, 79, 80, that's where it dropped again. And then we continued in an upward trend right till about 2000, which was the dot-com boom. We went in the opposite direction, and then we recovered, and then we went up again. Class, if you look at this chart, the United States Finance Standard & Poor's is at the highest that it's ever been. It's gonna come down. It's gonna correct. And if all of your 401k is tied up on the S&P 500 in stocks, you're getting a haircut whether you want it or not. So this is really about not just buying a franchise or managing it and getting an extra stream of income. It's about your retirement. Do you have what's necessary to be able to live that you want to live, the way that you want to live? Healthcare. Does anybody know about something called an HSA account? Okay, HSA accounts, more specifically self-directed HSA accounts, can be used to do two things. Or three things, actually, a number of things. On the healthcare side, if you got some kind of issue, you get into a car accident and now you got to pay the deductible. The deductible is $5,000. You can pull from that. You can pull from that to utilize that to be able to pay for any kind of medical expense. But in the inverse, as entrepreneurs and as merchants, you can also use it to invest. And you can put up to $6,800 into an HSA account, and you can use that to buy tax lien certificates. Did anybody tell you this in class? That you could use your HSA account to buy a real estate tax lien certificate? Which means that if the tax lien is $5,000 and you wait 12 months and 45 days in the state of Georgia, and you bring it to market and you sell it, and you make $100,000, all of that money goes back into the HSA account tax-free. Nobody's talking about this, right? This is stuff that entrepreneurs need to know. Number one, you want to come out here and play entrepreneur? You better not have any personal debt. Don't just wake up one day and say, I hate my job, I hate my boss, I don't like the way he talks to me, I'm going to come to Franchise Expo and buy a franchise if you've got personal debt. What am I saying? I'm saying 10, almost 15 years ago when I started, right, working at the firm, I had to zero out my debt. I can't make payroll and then cover debt. That's crazy. Who does that, right? So these are rules to entrepreneurship if you didn't know. I'm going to give you this first before we talk about how to actually finance deals. Number two, solutions, which we're getting ready to get into. Debt elimination. Now, people hear this all the time about debt elimination, but nobody talks about how to eliminate debt. And we're going to go through this. Success requires strategy. On any given day, I don't care how much money the other side has, I'm going to win because I have a strategy. Business is about strategy, people. It's not about how much money you make. So here we go. Rule number one, thou shalt not have a mortgage. I'm talking to real entrepreneurs and corporate people who are in transition looking to buy and get into this entrepreneur game. The etymology in the word mortgage means mortific. In the Latin, it's translated as death. The second word in the banking language is engage. Literally, class, it's an engagement upon death. That's the name of the mortgage, and that's what, in the United States of America, they sell you. For 30 and 40 years, you pay on the house every month. For 30 and 40 years, you pay the house over 5 times, and that's what? You die. There's no wealth there. No car note. People who have car notes cannot actually be true entrepreneurs because you're servicing debt. It's insane. I'm talking to real entrepreneurs right now. I'm not playing this fake thing. I'm talking to real or wanna-be real entrepreneurs. You cannot do it with a car note. If you have a car note and you're trying to figure out how to get out from one, you can go to the Daily Report online, probably the most powerful newspaper in Atlanta. Why? Because all of the legal notices are published in there, which means that when Day and John are driving down the 166 and they don't have enough money to pay the insurance to USAA, and the East Point police get behind and turn the disco lights on, and they pull that car over, guess where that car goes, class? Goes to the pound. And Day and John don't have enough money to pay their insurance. How are they going to get the car out of the pound? There are hundreds, almost thousands of cars sitting in pounds in wrecker services, and the wreckers motion to court to get court-ordered title, and they sell those cars starting at $100. So don't sit here and tell me, oh, I couldn't get a car loan because my credit was shot. That's a cop-out. We got solutions here today. No student loans. My son right now, on the internet, is in Japan. Sent me a text saying, Dad, I'm living my best life. He attends Middlebury College, and he's taking a year off studying abroad. Earlier this year, he was in Oxford. Now he's in Japan, studying international business at the International Christian University. Why? David Jr. speaks Japanese. He speaks Mandarin. He's trying to work on Arabic last time I talked to him. Right? Why is that? That's because when it came time for him to go to Middlebury College, we didn't shuck and jive. We didn't ask for the Pell Grant. We didn't ask for the student loan program. I wrote a check. Not because I'm Dr. Anderson, but because we knew that at this time, this boy was going to go to college, and we needed to have the money available. And at that time, I didn't have a 529. I didn't have extensive conversations with my financial advisor, Smith Barney. I had to take real estate, liquidate it, and send it to TD Bank. Right? This is what entrepreneurship is about. And so we got to get our minds reconditioned and reprogrammed so we understand that. This will be the most important piece of information you hear today. You'll hear a lot of them, but this is one of them. USVI EDA. Does anybody know what the USVI EDA is? Okay, teachable moment. Earlier this year, I got a bill from the IRS for $400,000. Right? This happened in June. When the bill came, I got kind of frustrated because I felt like this was egregious. So I had to put my thinking cap on and figure some things out. My 5 CPAs came up with a strategy to file as an S Corp, which completely mitigated the bill by half. Okay? So we hadn't filed for S Corp status. It's a whole other conversation. If you're not an S Corp, you need to file for S Corp status. The bill currently is $187,500. On our way to Hotel Expo in Miami, my staff and I went to a party that the Marriott gave on a boat. So I had this idea that I said, hey, there's some deals that we need to do down there, and there's some people that I need to get in contact with that weren't calling me back. So I said to Nikita and Nicole and some other people in my office, I said, we're going to trailer the boat down to Miami, launch it into Watson Bay, and we're going to go to this meeting by boat. We're going to tether to this meeting by boat. So we did all of this elaborate stuff, planning, we launched the boat, we get to the Biscayne Bay, the boat's in the water, we pull up at this Marriott yacht party that they have with the Hilton and Marriott at the NABHOOD conference, mind you. And the first person that I meet is the Minister of Tourism, Beverly Nicholson, who tells me, young man, you need to put your money somewhere. You need to come learn about the USVI program, the EDA program. You need to learn about it. 90% tax forgiveness for 30 years. Started crying, man. Listen to me, 90% forgiveness for 30 years. Why is it at 43 years old, I'm just now finding out about this, man? This is United States tax code. This is not some elaborate sovereign man strategy that Simon Black's talking about on the internet. This is Section 943 U.S. tax code. How come Wesley Snipes ain't getting this information? Why is he going to jail for tax evasion? Why are they stopping Warren Hill at JFK Airport in New York? Nobody on her staff knew about the EDA program? This is crazy. Some of you in here have huge tax bills. Y'all going home tonight trying to figure it out. Some people kill themselves for this. And in less than 3 months, we figured out how to move our corporate office from downtown Atlanta at 444 Highland Avenue and go to the United States Virgin Islands in St. Thomas, buy a land lot for $28,000, and now start the process of hiring 5 people on that island. So now I'm meeting the requirements for a 30-year credit, a 30-year tax credit. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't understand. This game is about the practice of multiple streams of income. Doctors practice medicine. Lawyers practice law. Entrepreneurs practice multiple streams of income. That's why you're here. First things first, before we get into this elevated strategy of procuring income and securing funds to purchase businesses, y'all gotta know your credit score. The average American credit score right now is a 640. This is across the board. I don't care what color you are, I don't care what you look like. The average score of all Americans is a 640. Google that. Do you know what the SBA Express Loan requires for you to be able to get financing? 720. Ain't nobody putting their fists up in the air talking about entrepreneur wealth matters? To me, that's crazy. They saying, SBA saying they'll give you $5 million right now. But can't nobody qualify because the average American is a 640? Something's wrong with that. That means that all business schools in America need to teach how to increase your score. And if you got a jacked up score, pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you right now. CreditCheckTotal.com. If your credit is not at a 720, you need to write this down. CreditCheckTotal.com, because I want you tonight, this is your homework assignment, to go to CreditCheckTotal.com and figure out where you are. Here's the deal. Derogatory payments, collections, multiple inquiries, public records, all that foolishness in the world of entrepreneurism is a no-no. So whatever issues you had going on, oh, Dr. Anderson, my wife divorced me, yeah, I had a whatever, blah, 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 sickness, all this other craziness, stop it. Cut it out, right? Go here to National Credit Educational Service. This is not a recommendation or in-kind that I'm supporting, meaning I'm getting a referral fee on. This is a straight up how to solve your crises. All right, there's a guy over here named George Cole at nces.org, and George charges $349, and in 3 months your credit will be squeaky clean. Now, because your credit is squeaky clean doesn't mean you have the credit score to qualify for 504 7A financing. What do you need to do? Add positive information. Here it comes. I hope you're paying attention. Navy Federal class, Navy Federal, has 3 secured lines of credit that report unsecured to FICO, TransUnion, and Experian. Did you know that? Did the Georgia State School of Business tell you this? No, because the professor doesn't know this. The professor gets a check every 15th and 31st. He's not filing K-1s and Schedule C's. They don't know this stuff, but they're getting checks every month, making you go to school to take out student loans, and you can't even get a job to pay the interest. That's the educational hoax in America today. 3 secured cards that report unsecured to the bureaus is phenomenal. Because that means, class, Navy Federal will allow you to go up to $50,000. You do some real estate deals, you give Navy Federal $50,000. Do another real estate deal, give Navy Federal another $50,000. Do another real estate deal, give Navy Federal another $50,000. Now you're walking around with $150 grand worth of available credit, and all you charged on me was some bubble gum. Your score's 950. Come on. This is not about, oh, I can't get ahead because the administration's got their foot on my neck. That's a cop-out. This is America. We can do whatever we want to do. It's the land of the free and home of the brave. Access to capital. This is what you came for. It requires a business plan. Oh, Dr. Anderson, I don't have the time to write a business plan. There's a website that you can go to. And for $20, you can download the template. Did you know that? At thefinanceresource.com? I don't have time to sit there and write up a business plan on my next business venture. I go to the website, download a template. Oh, we're going to start a radio network? Let's do it. Bam! It's done. Anybody knows my history? Peter Nygaard, a billionaire, invested into the Empowerment Radio Network, which happens to be the nation's only financial services talk radio network, right? Because I had a business plan. I was at his house. I was an invited guest with a whole bunch of other people, and he asked me what I do. I didn't have to tap dance in front of him. I had a business plan. This is on the internet. I don't have to say anything. Incorporation, this is another powerful tool. We don't even have an incorporation. Most of us want to do business in our own name. Who does that? Oh my goodness. There's a book here. It's written, I got a whole bunch of books for y'all. It's called What Would the Rockefellers Do? Please, go to Amazon. Get this book. We're not reading enough. We come to the Franchise Expo. We say we want to be franchisee owners. We're not reading. We're putting stuff in our own names. Come on, stop it. Rockefellers wouldn't do that. That's crazy. Let's keep it moving. Leverage business credit. Class, when we go and put boat, you know how much it is to fill up a boat? Anybody? A boat's like 100 gallons at $4 a gallon. That's crazy, right? So what are we doing? We got BP cards for the boat on business credit. You feel what I'm saying? When we're in jobs and we got to go to Home Depot, we go get a line of credit from Home Depot, and then we'll go get the materials that we need, and the guys do what they got to do to fix the house up. And then we put it back on the HUD, we collect. We use other people's money. This is like a mandate in the world that we live in. But we're being trained to do other things. We're being trained to go get a mortgage, go get student loans. Who's telling us this? What oligarchy, what system is pushing this narrative for us to be real slaves? Come on. Think about this. Commercial real estate is where it's at. That's why in Monopoly, you ever play that game, Monopoly? All the houses are, what, green, right? But when you land on the corner, you ever land on a house that's red? You know why it's red? Anybody thought about the psychology behind that? It's because it's commercial. It's red hot. Think about that. Self-finance strategies. Now we're getting into it. How many people in here have individual retirement accounts? Okay, about half the room. Let me show you how crazy this is. Now, I was talking to a gentleman last night who suggested that there's some what do you call it, exposure in utilizing your retirement to get into to buy a franchise. Because if the franchise is not managed correctly, then you can lose your retirement, right? So if you got $500,000 in the retirement, don't pull the whole $500,000 out to go buy, a franchise, right? Maybe pull out $100,000, right? Maybe buy some real estate, right? Maybe buy a real estate tax lien certificate, right? That's guaranteed at 20% rate of return. We'll talk about that later. Your individual retirement account, this is how they play you. They tell you, oh, you can't use that money, right? You can't use your retirement to start a business. Come on, man, yes you can. Because if you download the IRA, the individual retirement account plan, there's two reasons why they will allow for you to take a deduction. One is to start a business. The other is to buy real estate, more specifically, tax lien certificates. That's in the code. How many people are downloading that, reading that? It's an 82-page document. It's very informative. Self-directed IRAs allow you to take control over your retirement. There's no way that I'm going to allow for my FA to manage my portfolio over the next 30 or 40 years or however long I got. That's insane. When I sit down with Vanguard and I ask Vanguard and I press them, what do you got me in? Well, Dr. Anderson, we got you in some emerging markets. We got you in some softs and some hards. Man, what do you got me in? Well, here at Vanguard, we like to put you in the most aggressive potential securities to get you the best return. What do you got me in? Well, we're investing in something called the CCA, the Correction Corporation of America, and I think it's would be a real good product for you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, hear me. Most of you guys don't even call your FAs. Most of y'all are in the CCA at Vanguard and don't even know it, because you're not calling the FA to see what is it. And translation, the CCA is the prison industrial complex, which means I would be investing in the propagation of my own people, right? In my own portfolio. How crazy is that? But because we're not calling, we're not having these kinds of conversations with our FAs, we don't even know. So in my house, in the Anderson house, we self-direct. And we self-direct into businesses and real estate, which is why we're here. We're going to show you how to do this. LLCs are probably the most powerful vehicle that they've invented. And Kiyosaki talks about this in his Rich Dad Poor Dad series in the cash flow quadrant. He actually gives the history of how LLC started when Queen Isabella financed Columbus's mission to the New World. The Nina, the Pinta, and Santa Maria were the first corporations that were ever started. And Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand created LLCs and laden those ships with gold and all kind of other wealth and sent them over to the New World. So that if something happened, it wouldn't come back on the crown, it would go down in the ships. That's the power of the LLC. But we want to put the business in our personal names. 401ks, let's talk about this. Some of you have them right now, and when you get out of here, you're going to call on Tuesday after the holiday, and you're going to say, hey, I want to pull that money out. Dr. Anderson got me real excited. I want to buy a franchise. If you're currently employed, I'm sorry. They're going to tell you in an employee match program, that doesn't work. You'll have to terminate. Some of y'all might go on Tuesday and say, hey, I quit. Give me my money. All right, so don't blame me and say, oh, hey, Dr. Anderson, I quit. Don't call me talking about it. But the 401k, in some instances, if you were at a previous employer class and it's just sitting there collecting and they're not doing anything with it, is free money that you can use to either purchase real estate or buy a business. Professor at Georgia State University is not telling you about that. Roth IRAs. I love this guy, Roth. William Roth is the bomb. Why? Because the Roth IRA will allow you to do all kind of crazy stuff. It's in something called the tax-free bucket. Anybody read this book by Dan McKnight? The Power, class, come on. Power Zero? Anyone? Okay, teachable moment. This has got to be the most powerful book on Amazon right now. The philosophy that Dan McKnight drops is insane. He talks about the buckets. The taxable bucket, the tax-deferred bucket, and the tax-free bucket. And you, as entrepreneurs and merchants, have to go from the taxable bucket and take all that money and make it in the taxable bucket and put it into what we call the tax-deferred bucket. But wait a minute, when you're in tax-deferred 401ks and IRAs, your government partner, the IRS, is your partner. So they have access to all of your funds. So you need to figure out a way to move from the deferred bucket into the tax-free bucket. And that's where the Roth IRA is powerful. You're making money, you can put up to $5,500 in the Roth right now, tax-free. This is the lowest, interest rates are the lowest they've ever been in United States history. What are they going to be when you're actually of age to retire? Nobody's having that conversation. So in your working years, you want to take all the money you're making from your franchise and put that money into the tax-deferred bucket to get the tax credit and figure out a way through some kind of backdoor strategy to move that money from tax-deferred to tax-free. And that's what they talk about in this book. If you're making money, this is a must. Pensions. We can use pensions, right? There's a lot of people in here that are of age that got all kind of money in the pension. And they just sitting at home like not knowing what to do, but they want to do something. Because you're 65, because you're 72, because you're 75 does not mean that you're too old to get out here and play entrepreneur. My mother is still making, at 78 years old, making pins, little buttons, and selling them on the internet, on Etsy, okay? It ain't never too late. The man who started Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders, started Kentucky Fried Chicken at 65. I can go on and on. Use the pension, leverage it, invest in either a business or some type of real estate. We'll talk about it more. Private money partnerships, let's get to it. Some of you might know that I've invested in a few films that are on Netflix. One of them was a film called Generation 1, came out in 2015. Another one more recently is a film called Black Friday. You can go on the internet and type this type of stuff in. How we got those films financed were through private money partnerships, right? We didn't go to the bank, we didn't call Bank of America, we didn't call these other institutions. I didn't say, hey, I need a loan, right? When it came time for us to go to Egypt and go into Sudan and film in these pyramids and all this other stuff on this new film that we're working on, that money came from an insurance policy. And in 48 hours, they wired $150,000 and had a crew of 9 on a flight to Cairo. In fact, the cameras that we're shooting on are right here, right now, recording this session. So there are ways to structure your deals. We can't get into them in great detail right now, but when we're done, if you have questions, we'll get your information and we'll talk in greater detail on how to structure your deal. Private money. Let's talk about this. Life insurance, inheritance, lump sum payouts, and death benefits. And I don't want to I know we have a diverse group here, and I have something for everybody. I have something for the foreign nationals. I have something for everybody in here. But there's this one thing, if I may, push into my community for just a second, if you would indulge. Why are we allowing for GoFundMe to be the protocol on how we put grandma on the ground? Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's an abomination, right? Where if mom or dad passes and the life insurance money pays out, if you want to honor mom or dad, maybe use that $500,000 or $250,000 as a down payment on a hotel and put grandma or granddad's bust downstairs in the lobby when people come in. But don't take the money and get everybody out of hawk and pay off the house and pay off the car and have $50,000 left and have a big party and eat some chicken. Don't do that when it comes time for life insurance payouts. That's crazy. It's insane. And I say this in love because I get it all the time. It drives me crazy. People come to me, Dr. Anderson, what do? I got this money. Don't want to say nothing to nobody in the family because the family doesn't know how to handle the money. Buy a business or put that money into real estate. That's a whole nother conversation. Women, for a second, if I might continue, you guys are living longer. The husbands are getting stressed out, they're cutting out 70, 65, women are living to 90, 95. So now you guys are getting stuck with whatever dad or granddad was doing and he was trying to get his business on. Now there's $1 million or $500,000 on the table and you don't know what to do with it. You gotta keep going to conferences. You gotta keep going to NABHOOD. You gotta go to ISCS out in Vegas and see what's going on at the International Shopping Conference. There's a whole other conversations we need to be having. EB-5 funding, to my foreign nationals that are here. Do not listen to the rhetoric and all of this border talk. There is money available for you to start businesses. EB-5 program with an investment of $500,000 gives you immediate access as an American citizen. Immediate. I'm not talking about USCIS waiting for 40 years for them to make the green card permanent. We're talking about if you invest between $500,000 directly or $1 million indirectly, you and the entire family, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your cousins, everybody gets a green card. This program's been around for 30 years. Nobody's talking about it. It's insane. When you go to LAX, if you ever had to stay at the Marriott at LA Live, my partner Kevin Hicks did that deal. And he put together 100 Chinese foreign nationals who put up $1 million each. Kevin raised $100 million to build the Marriott at LAX. It's called the Marriott Live. There's a Residence Inn, there's a Marriott, and there's a JW on the side. These are documented transactions that you can roll on Google and back engineer on my behalf. The EB-5 program has to be one of the most unbelievable programs that we have to offer as American citizens and as American entrepreneurs. Nobody's talking about it. Wait a minute, you don't have $500,000 or $1 million laying around to buy a U.S. business. There's something called the E2 program. Listen closely. Foreign nationals making a significant direct investment, that's the language that they use, significant converts into 150,000 US or better, access, right? You need an immigration attorney that specializes in EB-5. Now you don't need to go to an immigration attorney that just has this hanging outside his door. I would recommend that you go to the ILA conference. How do I know this? Because I'm the featured speaker at the ILA conference. ILA stands for the International Association of Immigration Attorneys. And all the immigration lawyers in DC get together that deal with EB-5 and E2. That's where you go, and that's where you hire your immigration attorney. So I don't want to bore you with a whole bunch of other strategies on how to get deals done. I just wanted to show you that financing is possible. When someone tells you they can't get the deal done, don't feel like you've been disenfranchised. Don't feel like the man's putting his foot on your neck. Tell yourself that the person you were talking to didn't have enough information. And I have to keep searching for the information. Information is power. That's in the book. Matter of fact, it's in the Quran. In fact, it's in the Torah. It's in every other religious book that information is power. But I stand to correct, if I may, that it's not the information that's power. It's the application of the information that creates power. You have no power if you do not apply the information. I've had an illustrious career, not because of my real estate game, but because of my strength and my ability to finance deals. That's what's got me to be able to say the last time I've had a W-2 job was 1999 at UPS Drive on Marvin Miller Drive in Fulton Industrial. The last time. And as I close, I will tell you, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget having to pick up 70-pound boxes and having to wait until you heard a bell ring. And then you worked. I will never forget that. And that is what made me figure out a way to finance my deals. So don't come out here in this field of entrepreneurship and proclaim when you go home, I went to the Franchise Expo and I'm going to buy a franchise. Do some work. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not trying to kill dreams, but do the work that's needed. So 20 years from now, you can sit here and present at the Franchise Expo and help other people that are trying to figure it out. I'll take some questions. My name's Dr. Anderson. Oh, before I close, I had some other books. I don't know, some of y'all might be nerds like me and like to read about this foolishness, right? This book here, it's called Self-Directed IRAs. Building Retirement Wealth Through Alternative Investment. Super powerful. Richard Deitch. This guy is unbelievable. If you need to know how to structure deals using the self-directed IRAs, this is a definite modality. And then the other book, which is a secondary to David McKnight's Look Before You Lurk, he talks about something called the Life Insurance Retirement Plan, okay? And this goes into something that we call the legacy bucket. When y'all start making millions of dollars and you gotta figure out how to get the tax advantage and you're trying to go to Virgin Islands to set up your business so you don't gotta pay the $500,000 to the Fed, you gotta know about the LERPs, right? The LERPs are important. So, my last piece of reading, this is most interesting. It's called The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's a whole nother subject matter. We won't get into it today, I'm out of time. But I thank y'all for coming out. I'm going to take any questions. If anybody has any questions about what we talked about, please, before you leave, we would like to communicate with you guys. For those of you who are interested in anything that you heard, we want to try to assist you with figuring that out. So if you have not already signed off on Raheem, have they signed? Have you put the...
Some people have, we'll get it right.
Have them come up. We want to collect your information and your email if possible, if you haven't already signed. And then at this time, I'll take some questions that you guys might have.
So you talked about
questions, yes, sir.
You talked about the business plan, right? Business plan website. What is the name?
The business plan website is called the Finance Resource.
Finance Resource.
Yeah, write that down. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a bomb. We need effects when we say that stuff. Yes, sir.
Tax liens.
Tax liens.
20% return on guaranteed on tax liens.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's be upfront. So how did I get here? I got here because of real estate tax lien certificates. I've been involved in a lot of businesses. Some of them have made money, some of them have fell apart. But that $20 million or the $10 million portfolio that we're managing are real estate tax lien certificates. It's not the film company, it's not the radio network, it's real estate tax lien certificates. So what happened was, early on in my loan brokering career, my attorney, his name was Robert Decker, I was closing some deals and he asked me what I was doing with my money at the time. I was spending a lot of money, being reckless. It was my first time ever making significant money. And he goes, you need to invest your money. And I'm like, well, what should I invest my money in? And he was invested in tax lien certificates. This guy's been on the bar practicing for like 30, 40 years. And so I asked him, how do they work? Basically, they're insured, guaranteed by the municipality, so in this instance, Cobb County or Fulton County. And let me back up. Some of you all might say, well, what is a real estate tax lien certificate? A real estate tax lien certificate is a FICO or a issuance of some type of lien, a superior lien. And this is what's most interesting about it, is that this lien sets aside any encumbrances to title. Let's talk about that. If you owe Deutsche Bank $500,000, and let's say you live in Cobb, and you don't pay Cobb County, Cobb County issues this FICO on your primary residence. And it doesn't matter if Deutsche Bank is owed $500,000. It doesn't matter if your HOA is owed $20,000. None of that stuff. It doesn't matter if the IRS has $1 million lien on your house. That FICO is what's called first lien position. And so we figured out a way through Mr. Decker's suggestions and some heavy-duty follow-up how to not only procure those liens, but also remove any encumbrance to title through something called a quiet title action. So in the real estate world, right, they lie to you on late night TV and they tell you, hey, you can get rich quick in real estate. That's a lie. The two Bidgets come on, the Rice twins come on late night TV and they tell you how much money they've made in real estate. It's a lie. Carlton Sheets comes on and says no money down. Nobody talks about the fact that those are strategies that he used 30 years ago. In 1989, those conditions of the market are not the same right now. So to people, my advice, who are interested in real estate, you should enter into the real estate market at the lowest point of entry. And in my world, to me, that's tax lien certificates. Because in the great state of Georgia, they give you 20% in the first year and 10% in the second. Which means if you're listening and you got some money that's in the market that's just sitting there, right? Let's say you take $100,000 out, and oh, by the way, they're investing your money. Vanguard's putting it in that prison industrial complex. That CCA is the number one stock in America, and they're giving you 8%, right? So let's say you call the FA, you roll it over into the self-directed IRA, and you put it into the LLC, and you go in December with our firm, and we go buy some tax liens for $100,000. Well, guess what? We just beat up on your FA because your FA was only giving you 8%. We just guaranteed you 20% in the first year, and guess what? When January comes, you get another 10%. That's 30%. Just from moving funds from the market, a portion of them, into the dirt. Nobody's talking about this. I don't care how many franchises you own, you gotta own some real estate. Because things change. The people die, divorce, you get sick. Sometimes you might not feel like running a business. And you might say, oh, that's never gonna happen. But as a business broker, right, for 10 years before I got into real estate, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for divorces. Why? Because when people fight and there's assets, it gets messy. They gotta bring the brokers in. Because the judges don't know how to handle that stuff. You can have a business, the business make $5 million, the judge's gonna sell it for $50,000. Why? Because it's in the bankruptcy court. So they got to bring the business broker in to try to get top dollar or somewhere near market value. So these are the strategies. What I'm sharing with y'all is not just me trying to wow you. This is my career for the past 20 years. And to be able to go to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands to take advantage of the EDA, my God, that's insane. I'm from the Bronx, man. I ain't even supposed to be here. You feel me? I'm not even supposed to be here. But the office is headquarters at 17 Vestigade in St. Thomas, West Virgin Islands. That's nuts, man. That's a whole nother story. So I swear behind tax lien certificates. If you go on the internet and you see my discography and my bio and entrepreneurship, I cut my chops on tax liens. Tax liens allows you to build wealth. And it's when you have wealth that you can go out here and buy these ideas that somebody else makes and says, hey, this bill is a bulletproof system. If it's bulletproof or if it's not, you're sitting on $5 million, $10 million worth of real estate. If it closes, if it fails, it's not really hurting you, right? That's what you want to do. You want to be able to go outside, slay some dragons, come home, not get no mouth. You're still going to get mouth, but if you ain't got no mortgage or no car note, the mouth's going to be a little bit less striking when it comes out. I'm just saying. I'm trying to help the brothers out and the men. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the benefit of going to the U.S. Virgin Islands, reaching along to the U.S. as opposed to starting?
So the United States tax code is very interesting. If you have ideas about this, they explain about the tax code here in this book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, the impetus of what happened in 1913 in Jekyll Island, Sea Island, what happened at that meeting with the Adderhalls and the Rothschilds. This is basically talks about the tax code and how it's created. How does the United States, Virgin Islands, and I would include Puerto Rico, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico as well, how does this affect entrepreneurs in the U.S.? So these guys put some loopholes, right, in the tax code. Just like right now, the current administration has some loopholes in the tax code. One of them being the jet tax. So some of you guys are making some money, you can go buy a jet, right? Not a Creflo Dollar jet, but you can get a you go to Trader Plane and you can get a Citation 10 or a Hawker or something for like $2 million. And you can right now, in the 2017 tax code, you can write all of that off. If you made some money last year and you make that purchase right now before December 31st, that's a tax code. That's a loophole. Because all of the capital gains per the current administration ratifying the 2017 tax credit code, you can write all that off through the jet tax, okay? Through owning a jet. So, Section 934 states that if you are a U.S. business and you not repatriate, and you move your headquarters to the United States Virgin Islands, you can take benefit of that tax credit for either 10, 20, or 30 years, depending on what type of business you're in, okay? And so 90% is forgiven for either 10, 20, or 30 years, okay? And then that 10%, if you let's say you make 10 million and it costs you 9 to make the 10, so you got $1 million on the table, you would pay the 100,000 to the VI. This is tax code. This is not Simon Black. This is not a 5-flag strategy. This is tax code, right? The Section 937, you can fact check me, right? 937 states that in Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, that all businesses are to file 1120 and or 1120S except in the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Which means that if you move your business to the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, right, you pay 4% tax, right? So my question is, why is this not standard equipment for American business owners? Ain't nobody at the door at the SBA saying, hey man, you got a tax situation, just like this, here are your options, you know? And really, technically, if you're studying, you should never have a tax issue. Because between having something called a Roth IRA constellation, that's a whole other class, and if you want to know more about that, I would go to the Equity Trust Self-Directed IRA Conference. They have it in Cleveland, right? They talk about this. They talk about how you can mitigate your tax obligation up to $300,000 just using Roth IRAs, the CISA accounts, and HSA accounts, and SEPs, and then having employees, you can get $55,000 a year just opening up an SEP. There's too many things that you can do that are within the code, but we're not studying. We're frustrated. We're saying my boss is talking to me crazy, I don't like him, and we're coming out here trying to play this game of entrepreneurship unstudied. And it's killing us. We're becoming entrepreneurs out of emotion and not out of a systematic 1 + 1 = 2. That's what it is. You want to raise some money? Here's a $1 billion strategy. Y'all got ideas, big ideas on technology and all this stuff? Y'all want to go raise some money? Get on the plane, go to Dubai, right? Go to the Precious Metals Conference, huh? And go do a presentation like this in front of Qatari foreign nationals, huh? And tell them you got some real estate opportunities or opportunities to go and do a franchise. I'm telling you right now how to go raise the money if you don't want to use the banks. I'm telling you right now how to do it. You might have walked around and saw a McDonald's franchise, right? It's bulletproof, quote unquote, right? But wait, you found one that somebody got to go to jail or somebody got an issue with the wife. They got to unload all 5 of them. And corporate doesn't necessarily want to manage it, which means if you got the cash, you got opportunity, cash flow opportunity, right? And if you know anything about McDonald's, right? It's worldwide. Everybody knows that. You go to the Precious Metals Conference, stay at the Marriott, get the room, and do the presentation on EB5 and E2, you're going to have 100 people throwing money at you to the tune of 5 to 10 million. But we're sitting here struggling, racking our brains, trying to figure out how to get the business plan done to meet with the SCORE representative to be considered for the SBA program. Come on, who does that? Who's telling us to do this? This is America, man. This is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave, huh? Go at your business opportunity as if you're hungry. After 20 years of doing this, I'm hungry. I'm more hungrier now than I was when I first started. That's dangerous. Because I've gotten through the emotion of success. I spent all the money possible. I'm not even doing this to make more money. I'm doing this for sport. I want to stay sharp and clean. I want to put the elephant down with the least amount of effort. That's a dangerous entrepreneur. It's dangerous. That's where I am in my entrepreneurial walk. When y'all go home tonight, I already know you're going to be up all night. Dr. Henderson, what was that book he was talking about? I already know it happens all the time, right? But get fanatic and frenzical. Take that energy and focus it. A lot of y'all might feel like, man, how's this young guy coming out the box swinging, telling me stuff I've never heard, and I've been in business for 10, 20 years. Hey, I don't know the answer to that. God puts me in some precarious scenarios to get the information to bring it back to the people, right? The guys that need it, right? Not the guys that are like Nygar, and that's my guy. I don't want to knock Mr. Nygar, right? But the 1% got it figured out. And to me, it's just unbelievable how this program is on the internet and nobody knows about it. It's crazy to me, man. What's going on, right? It's information. It don't have nothing to do with nothing else. It's information. Now, they can distract you and say it is something else, but truly it's not. It's information. We're in a game of information. It's the information age. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Oh, man, powerful. Yeah, so we work with so I'm not licensed to kind of discuss the IRA portion of the presentation, but we engage a company called Equity Trust. There's a couple of them, but Equity Trust is our third-party beneficiary. They're officially licensed, and they kind of make sure that everything is done correctly. And when I got hit with my tax bill earlier in the year, I went to their conference. And when I got to the conference, I spoke to a gentleman named John Bolins. He's on the internet. He's on YouTube. And John Bolins has this presentation called Roth IRA Constellations. That thing changed my life. What the Geico commercial said 15 minutes saves you a lot of money? 15 minutes saved me $300,000. Because when this guy was done putting his illustrious strategy on the board, I went straight to him. I was like, yo, man, I got this $400,000 bill. We need to talk right now. There's a long line waiting for John. Everybody's running to Mr. Bowman. Like, hey. I was like, yo, man, we got to talk right now. We got to go over here and talk right now. And after he was done explaining what my options were, that kind of just started everything. Because I just was like, come on, man, seriously. Like, SCP, I could put $55,000 in there, and then I got employees. I could put up to almost $15,000 for each employee. I can put money in my employees' retirement that they can use to go buy other real estate because it's self-directed. Come on, who's leaving the office? Look, Dave's crazy. I can't stand him. He talks to me crazy, blah blah blah. I ain't going nowhere because I got this money in this retirement, so we gotta work with this dude. Okay. That's a whole different world, man. Yeah, Equity Trust is in Cleveland, Ohio, and they have these different events. They have breakout events. In fact, they're having an event right now in Indianapolis. But I would just go. You can call our office and we can send you the information. Stay in contact with us. But I highly recommend it because even if you're not in the entrepreneurial thing and you're just kind of here to see what your options are, toying with the idea, that's cool too. But you don't have to kind of leave your job. You can kind of stay at your job, but if you create serious investment strategies, right, you can do the same thing on the job that you could do with an entrepreneur that's spinning his wheels on a business model that might or might not work, right? So this is where the rubber meets the road, where you have to plan on how you're going to do it. Like 20 years ago, I came to this exact conference. We were running around looking at everything. We're going to start a coffee business, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm pretty strategic in what I want to do. I don't want to spend my time wasting my energy, which is why I love the tax lien game. Because it makes sense. There's no, trying to figure that out. It doesn't talk back, it don't close, it's real estate. You know what I mean? Pick it up, put it on MLS, it sells. Buy it for $5,000, it sells for $105,000. You split the money with the partner, you send us $100,000, and we go make you $400,000. We gonna give you your $100,000 back and split $300,000 or whatever, $400,000. That's how that works. It's very simple. It's not, hey, I lost your retirement money because this guy wasn't coming to work. Come on, man. It's management. We ain't got time for that. Any other questions? No other questions? That was a meteor, man. That's a YouTube classic. Well, listen. listen, thank you guys for coming and listening. I know it's the end of the day. We're going to hang around and answer any other questions you might have privately that you don't want to ask in public. But at the end of the day, thank y'all for being here. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for being here, because it's not about what I'm talking about. It's the fact that you got up and came out here to figure out what you guys are on. You guys are on a journey, and it's exciting to kind of be watching you through the process. And like I said, our office is a resource for you guys. We might do business with some of you guys we might not do business with, but regardless, we've got some information that we've collected over the years, and hopefully it can help you guys to be successful, whatever definition of success it is for you. So thanks for coming out, and we'll talk more.